All right, shalom, shalom. It's Brother Yatazadak here of Israel. I'd like to start off by giving honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, Great Millstone. Right, this is the part two. Going in today, we're going to go into Slakia. We're going to revisit Deuteronomy 28. This is the part two, continuing off of verse 33. Right. So, Lord willing, you're edified, giving honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, Great Millstone. Right? Salakia. Let's get right into it. Right? This is Deuteronomy 28 and 34. And it reads, Wahayayath Ma Shagai, right? Ma Ra'a Yanyaka Ashar Tara'a, right? Meaning, and you will be driven, right? Or Slakia, right? Reads, and you will be, right? You will be mad, from the sights which you will, which your eyes will see. Ashar Tara'a, which you will see, right? Which that word shagai means, right, to be mad, right? Verse 35, Yaka, Yahweh, Bashaya, Shachyan, Rai, meaning the Lord will smite thee, right, with the boils painful upon your knees, Al Habarakium, right? Because that the root word is barak, which means knee, or knees plural, barakium. Wa'al ha shaquayim, and upon your legs, ashar la'a thakal, which you will not be able, right, to heal from or to recover. Laha rapa'a makap regal ka, meaning from the soles of your foot. Wa'ad, and even unto your head, or the crown of your head. Quad ka, right? Yalad Yahweh Athaka Wa Atha Malaka, right? And Slakia says, he will lead you, the Lord, unto you, to your king, Ashar Thaquayim Alayaka, which you will raise up upon you, Al Gawaya Ashar, to a nation which you did not, which you did not know. La'a Yadaitha Atha, you, Wa Abathayaka, and your fathers, Wa Ibadath Sham Alahayim Mahorium, and you will serve gods others, wood and stone, Itaza Wa Aban, right? So it says, he will lead you, the Lord, and to your king, which you have raised up unto you, to a nation which you did not know, you and your fathers, and there you will serve gods others, wood and stone. Wahayayath, Shama, La Shama, Lambashal, Wala Shanayana, right? And there, and you will be there, or Slaki, and you will be for a name, for a proverb, and a byword, Bakal Ha'amayim, in all the nations, or peoples, which, Ashar, Yanahag Ka, which he will drive thee, the Lord hither, Yahweh Shema, right? So we're going to visit the word Shanayana, right? Deuteronomy 28:37. Or let's take a look at Shema. Wasting, desolation, astonishment, right? Let's see, astonishment. Let's see what precepts we got. Even in trouble, astonishment. Let's see how they brought to desolation. Right, so that word Shema means to be astonished, right? So it says you will be for an astonishment, right? Which is basically, you know, what you would call a you would be called different things, like, you know, wetback, or, you know, drug dealer, criminal, right? For a proverb, right? A proverb is like, you know, to say, you know, oh, see that person there? He's like a pig in the mire, you know. Just, you know, a different type of a way to you know, when you say a proverb, it's a dark saying, but it's also indirectly, right, speaking about a thing, right? You know, for example, when Esau says, you know, when certain contentions come up between him and Jake, you know, Esau says, "Oh, you people, you know, you're like the, you know, you're like animals," right? That's being called a proverb. Being an astonishment, right? It's being called, you know, like that how do you say it? Um, just something, you know, something crazy you might say, right? For example, you know, they're like Donald Trump said. He said, you know, this car, they're rapists, right? And that word byword is Shanayana, Shanyana, right? So that word Shema means astonishment, or to be astonished, right? Proverb, byword. This is it means like a sharp saying, right? Like you know, how do you say it? Something like spick, right? Because it's a sharp saying, right? a sharp appointed saying, right? Shanayana, which is also a byword, which is a which is a taunt at that person, and it's a derivative of shanan, meaning to sharpen, right? Which is where you get the word teeth, which is shan, right? Or when you say something slick about somebody, right? Well, not really. It's mainly a sharp saying, like the N word, and spick. Those are really like they're supposed to have like a really um. It's basically a byword, right? So it says, and you will be for an astonishment, for a proverb, and a byword upon all the peoples which you will drive thee, the Lord, hither. Salakia. Verse 38, Zarai, Rab, Salakia, Zarai, Rabah, Tatazaya, right? Meaning seed much you will bring out to the field. Hashadah, Wamayat, meaning and little you will gather. Tha asap, because the root word for asap is yasap, which means to add, or right in this sense it means to gather, right? Kaya ya chasal nawa, right? Because they will consume him, the locust, ha araba, right? And araba is how you say locust, which is similar to Irab, meaning Irab means mixed, right? Which is why the Arabs call themselves Arabs, because they're mixed peoples. But locusts are kind of, if you see a swarm, it's kind of a mixed multitude of various, locusts, big, small, and whatnot, right? Deuteronomy 28, Salakia, Deuteronomy 28:38. Let's look at that word chasal. Let's see. Salakia, if I'm going a bit quickly, if I'm going a little too fast, and bear with me, it's 2 in the morning, so I'm trying to bring this out, right? The best way I can, right? So that word hasal means to eat off, to devour, right? Finish off, consume. The Aramaic says hasal, come to an end. To eat off, to consume. So it just means to consume, right? So verbatim it says, seed much you will bring out to the field, and little you will gather, because they will consume it, the locust. Karamyam, Thatai, vineyard you will plant and till, wa ibadtha, wa yayan, and wine you will not drink. La'a tha shata, right? Shata means to drink, right? Wala'a tha agar, right? And you will not store. Kaya tha akal nawa, because they will eat it, the worms. Hathalai tha, right? And that way Salakia, the way you say worm is tawalai, right? But let's look at that word agar, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 39. Salakia, just bear with me. Salakia. Music's kind of throwing me off. So that word agar, right? It says to gather, to collect, gather, harvest, scrape together. It's not necessarily what it means. To harvest, right? Just means to harvest, right? Let's see. But mainly, this means in the sense of processing, wine, food, grain, right? Because you have it in its raw form and then you have it in its processed form, meaning after you prepare it for whatever use it may be, right? Because you have, let's get another word for harvest. Salakia. Which is the actual word, which is kwatazayar, right? So as you can see, what I did, I just compared with the precepts. Salakia, that's not what I was looking for. Agar, you can get a few of them, but you can kind of understand what it is that it's denoting. Right? Deuteronomy 28 and 39, thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor process the grapes, for the worm shall eat them. Proverbs 6 and 8, provideth her meat in the summer, and processeth her food in the harvest. Proverbs 10 and 5, he that processeth, right? Or Salakia, he that makes the process in summer is a wise son, but he that sleepeth in harvest is a son that causes shame, right? So that tells you, right, if you look at the precept, it is not the same as harvest, because it's not going to say the same thing in one verse, right? And you get a better context when you go into the Hebrew, right? Which it reads agar bakwayataz, right? Meaning to process, right? In reaping, ban meaning son, ma shakayel meaning prudent, is the son of the prudent. Naradam, which means to sleep, right? Specifically, that is denoting deep sleep, I believe, or to snore, right? Because the actual word for sleep is yayashan, or yashan, right? So it reads to process and reaping is the son of the wise, right? And right, to snore in harvest, Bakwatazayar, is the son of shame, Ban Mabayash, because that word Bawash or Bayash means shame, right? So you see, it's not the way that it is translated when you go into the Hebrew, right? So this is how you get discernment on what a word actually means, right? So let's read that again, right? Vineyards you will plant and till, and wine you will not drink, right? Meaning from that vineyard, right? And Rasalaki, you will not and will not, Rasalaki, and you will not process of it, because they will eat them, the worms, right? Zayathium, Yahayawa, Laka, olive trees or olives you will have unto thee, Bakal Gabalka in all your borders, Washaman, La'a, Thasap, right? And oil, right? You will not gather, right? Because you don't actually have to put asap or salakia. Let me double check. Verse 40. Deuteronomy 28 and 40. Let's see. Let's get that. The word is sawak. Which it says to anoint, but that's not what it really means, right? Let's see. That word actually goes to the root nasak, meaning to pour, as in a libation, or you're pouring oil and anointing yourself, right? Let's go into that. To pour. So the word is nasak. So it's salakia. That's my mistake. Or yasak, right? To pour. Yasak or nasak, to pour out, but to be poured, right? So that's what it means, right? So it says, olives you will have unto thee, will be unto thee, in all your borders, and oil you will not pour, right? Kaya yashal zayatka, right? Because they will be put off your olives, right? So essentially, it's saying olive trees you will be unto thee, or Salaki, olive trees you will have unto thee, and all your borders, and the oil you will not reap of it, because they will be drawn off, because, right, they will be drawn off your olive trees, right? That's in the sense that your olive trees will not be fruitful, right? Which is where you get certain oils from pressing the olives, right? Banyam wa banath tawalayad, which really it's talayad, sons and daughters you will bring forth, wa la'a yahayawa, and they will not be unto thee, laka kaya yalakwa bashabaya, because they will go into captivity, right? Salakia. So yeah, that's what that means, right? Salakia. I'm just gonna click on another one. So So verbatim it reads, sons and daughters you will bring forth, and they will not be unto thee, because they will go into captivity, right? Kal Aitazaka Waparaya Adamathka, right? Meaning all your trees and the fruits of your ground. Yarash, they will possess the crickets. Ha Tazal, right? So that word Itaza means tree or trees. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward, right? All your trees and the fruit of your ground, they will possess the crickets. As in, right? Your the fruit of the trees and of the land will not prosper, right? Hagar Ashar Bakwarabka, meaning the sojourner which is in your midst. Ya Allah Alayaka, he will ascend up above thee. Ma Allah, of to be exalted, right? Ma Allah, to be exalted, right? Wa atha, and you, Tharad, will go down below Mata, right? So in essence it says, the stranger which is in your midst, he will ascend up above thee very high, and you will go down very low. Hawa Yalaka Ba'atha, right? He will lend unto thee, right? Hawa means he, Ya means he. Lawa is the root for to join together in a sense of lending. The ka is saying unto thee, right? So he, even he, will lend unto thee. Wa atha la'a, ta la wanai, ta salakia la'a, ta la wanawa, and you will not lend unto him, right? He, Hawa. Yahaya la Ra'ash, meaning or Salakia Hawa means he. Yahaya will be. La Ra'ash, the head. Wa'atha, Tahaya, and you will be the tail. La Zanab, right? So verbatim it says, he will lend unto thee, and you will not lend unto him. He will be the head, and you will be the tail, right? Waba'awa, Alayaka, Kal Hakwalal Wath, and will come in upon thee all the curses, these, Ha Alha, and will chase thee, Wa Radapka, and will come near unto thee, Wa Shayagka, Ad, even, until you be destroyed, Ha Shamadka, Kaya La'a, Shamaitha, because you did not hear in the voice of the Lord your power, Bakwal Yahweh al-Hayaka, to keep Lashamar, his commandments, Mutazawath Yahweh, right? And the statutes, Wa Hakwayath, or Salakia Wa Hakwath Yahweh, which has been commanded unto thee, Ashar Tazawaka, right? Wahayawa Baka La Awath, right? And there will be upon thee for a sign, Wala Mawapath. Really, it's Wala Mapath, and for a wonder, Waba Zarai Ka, and upon your seed, I'd even I walam forever. Tahath ashar la'ah ibadath, instead of which you did not serve to the Lord your power, Yahweh atah Yahweh alhayakah, in rejoicing, bashamacha, and in good, wabatawab, labab, of your heart, marabah, of the abundance of all, right? Call, right? So it reads, instead which you did not serve to the Lord your power, in rejoicing and in goodness of your heart, for the multitude of all things, right? Verse 48. Wa ibadath atha yabiaka, you will serve your enemies. Ashar yashalach nawal, which he will send out, right? The Lord Yahweh upon thee, Bakah, Barayab, in hunger, Waba Tazamah, and in thirst, Waba Ayaram, and in nakedness, right? Because that word Iram means nakedness. Waba Chasar, and in wanting or in need of all things, call, right? Wanathan al Barazal, and he will place a yoke of iron. That word al means yoke. Barazal, iron, upon your neck. Al tazawar ka. Really, you could just read tazawar ka, meaning tazawar. Tazawar ka just means neck, right? So you will put a yoke upon your neck, ad, even, until you be destroyed, right? Even, ad, ha means he, shamayadwa, even till he destroys you, athaka, right? So it reads, and you will serve to your enemies, which he will send out, the Lord your power upon you, in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, and in need of all. And you will place a yoke of iron upon your neck, Salakia, until he has destroyed thee. Yasha'ah, Yahweh, Elayakah, meaning he will raise up the Lord against thee. Gawayat, a nation afar off, Ma'rachak, Ma'kwatazah, from the end of the earth, Ha'aratazah, Ka Ashar, like which, Yada'ah, meaning swift. He will be swift, right? As the eagle, Ha-Nashar, right? Gawaya, Ashar, a nation which you did not hear, La'ah, Tashamai, Lashanawa, their tongue or their language, right? Because that's what it's talking about here. Lashawan means tongue, or Lashan, shortened, right? But let's visit that word Da'ah, right? And that word Makwataza, right? It means, the root word is Kwataza, means to be cut off, right? But that's talking about from one end into another, right? For example, you have one piece of string, you cut it off. You have another piece of string, you cut it off. That's two ends of a string. Makwataza, from one end. La Makwataza, right? From an end to an end, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 49. Check that out real quick. Deuteronomy 28:49. Salakia. Let's get that. Da'ah doesn't necessarily mean swift, right? It doesn't mean fly, to fly. Da'ah, to fly, right? Fly swiftly, right? Dart through the air, right? So yeah, it means something that is swift, right? And the Arabic says da'a da or da'a da, right? Da'a da says run vehemently of camel, right? So let's see what else we can get. Right, so it just means swift, right? Da'a, right? So it says, he will raise up the Lord against thee a nation afar off from the end of the earth, like which is swift like the eagle, a nation which you did not hear their language. Gawaya Az Panayim, Ashar, a nation fierce. The word Az means fierce. A face, Panayim, or faces, right? Ashar, La'a, Yasha'a, which they will not lift up, right? Their face, Panayim, to the elderly, Lazakwan, and to the young, Wa Nayar, right? La'a, Yachan, they will not favor, right? Wa Akal, Pariah, Bahamath and will eat the fruit of your beast, Wa Pariah, Adamath and the fruit of your soil, Ad Hashamad even till you be destroyed, right? Ashar, La'a, Yasha Ayar, Salaki, even which there will not be remaining unto thee, Laka, Dagan, right, of your threshing floor, Tayarash, your new wine, Waya Tazahar, and your oil, Shagar Alapiaka, right, and the young of your the firstlings, right, of your ox, right? Wa Ashatharath, and the riches of your flock, Taza'anka, Ad, even till you till he causes to perish, Ha Abayadawa. Ha means he, meaning he, Abayadwa, cause to perish to you, Athaka, right? So it reads, and he will eat, Ursalaki, and will eat the fruit of your beast, and the fruit of your soil, and even till you be destroyed, which there will not be remaining any unto thee, right? Or anything unto thee, of your threshing floor, your new wine, and your oil, the firstlings of your oxen, and the riches of your flock, even till he calls thee to perish, right? Hatazar, Wahatazar, Laka, Bakal, Shar Yaka, right? Meaning, and he will bind up or Slakia, he will distress unto thee, he will distress you in all your gates, Ad Radath, even till you go down, right? Even till it goes down your walls, Hamath Yakah, because that word for wall is Hawama, right? Or Hama, short to the shortened version, right? Hakabatha, right? And your heights, or Slakia, the height, your wall. So it's talking about the walls which are very high. Waha Batazarwath, and your how do you say it? Your fortresses, right? Ashar Atha, which you trust in. That word batak means to trust, right, or to be secure. Bachan, um, which is upon them, right? Bakal, Aratazaka, in all your land. Wahatazar, Laka, right? And he will distress thee in all your gates. Bakal, Shayar Yaka, Bakal, Aratazaka, in all Slakia, in all your land, right? Ashar Nathan, Yahweh, Allahayaka, Laka, which has given the Lord your power unto thee, right? So in essence it says, and he will distress thee in all your gates, even till it goes down, even till he brings down the walls which are very high, and your fortresses, which you trust upon them in all your land, and he will distress thee in all your gates, and Salakia, in all of your land, which has given the Lord your power unto thee, right? Deuteronomy 28:53. Wa akalath pariah batan ka, and you will eat the fruit of your womb, right? Bashar banyaka, the flesh of your children, of your sons. Wa banath yaka, and your daughters. Ashar nathan laka, which he will give unto thee, the Lord your power, Yahweh al-Hayaka. Bamatazawar, right? In the siege, right? Waba matazawak, right? And in the in distress, Ashar yataza yak, which he will distress thee, Laka, your enemy, Ayabka, right? So it says, and you will eat the fruit of your womb, the flesh of your sons and daughters, which has given unto thee the Lord your power in the siege and in distress, which he will distress unto thee your enemy, right? That happened in 70 AD. That happened when the southern kingdom were removed into Babylon, to the Babylonian captivity. And that's going to happen in these latter days, right? So, those that aren't, the 2/3, they're going to have to, right? And when the famine hits, the famine of the word hits, that's after the charagma gets issued, right? Then all hell is going to break loose, right? Before the destruction. You're going to have, the famine is going to be so severe, you're going to have Jake eating the flesh of his own family, right? But let's revisit that word, matazawak, or tazayak, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 53. Salakia, just bear with me. Deuteronomy 28 and 53. Let's get that. So that word, the root is matazawak, distress, straightness, straights. Let's see. To be narrow, to be straightened. The Arabic says taza'ak, or taze'ek, right? Because that little dot is supposed to be like a eh. Says to straighten, to compress, right? Kindred roots are iwak, inak, hanak, not necessarily. Let's see, tazawak, to be distressed. The Arabic says taza'ak, taza'ak. Taza'ak, to be narrow, tight, right? So there you have it, right? It's just denoting distress, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 54. Ha'ayash, harka, or Salakia harak, baka, meaning the man, which is tender. Indi, baka, waha, ainag, right? And he that is delicate, because that word ainag means delicate. Ma'ad, exceedingly. Will be evil, will have an evil eye. Tharai, ayanawa, upon his brother. Ba achyawa, waba ashath, and upon his wife of his bosom. Hayakwa, hayakwawa, or Salakia, hayakwa, waba yathar, and the remainder of his sons, Banayawa, which they will remain, right? Ashar, Yawa Thayar, right? Because the word is Yathar, meaning to remain, or abundance, right? And the Ya means he. The Wa is there to distinguish from the he, and the word that denotes that which is remaining, right? For example, if I say I see, I would say awara'ah, right? Which is really the Wa isn't necessary there because you can distinguish that you're saying I see, ara'ah, right? But in certain instances, that Wa is to give the distinction, right? Like it says in Corinthians, actually, the Apostle Paul said, right? How should an instrument, how would you know the sound if it does not give us the distinction, right? So let's visit that word ainag, right? And hakwa, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 54. Salakia, let's get that real quick. Deuteronomy 28:54. Ainag, delicate, right? Soft just means delicate, right? Because the word for soft is actually rakah, right? Rakah doesn't mean tender, right? Rakah, soft, tender, weak, which just means soft. But you can say tender, right? Now let's look at that word for bosom. Chayak, the bosom, the breast with the arms, right? So called from embracing, right? Which is embrace. Let's just look that up real quick. The word embrace is chabak, right? Bosom. Let's see what we get for that. Chab, that actually means lap. Chayak is bosom, right? Let's look at the word breast, which is, I believe it's chazah or shawash, or salaki, dad. Or dada. Yeah, it's dada. Breast, chazah, breast. Let's see what else we get. Dada would be breast, pap, right? What you would call the teat, or the nipple, right? So it actually means the teat, the tip of the breast, dada. Chazah, it's the breast itself, right? So that word, Salakia, let's go back to that. Salakia. Chayak, or hak, or hawak, right? Just means bosom, right? Salakia. Matath, la achad, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 45. Matath, la achad, maham, right? Meaning, ma meaning of, that means to give, of given to one of them, ma bashar, of the flesh of his sons, banayawa, banyawa, right? Ashar, yakal, which they will eat, right? Um, Ma Balaya, because there is not remaining Ha Sha'ayar to them, Lawa, call Ba Matazawar, meaning there's not remaining unto them of anything in the siege, right? Waba Matazawak, and in distress, Ashar Yatazayak, which they will distress unto thee, Laka Ayabka, your enemies, Bakal, in all your gates, Shayar Yaka, right? Um, right. So it's saying the man which is um the man which is tender, right, in thee, and he that is delicate exceedingly, he will have an evil eye to his brother, and upon the wife of his bosom, and upon the remainder of his sons, which will remain, right, of giving to one of them of their flesh, of their sons, right, which they will eat, because there is not remaining unto them anything in the siege and in distress, which they will distress thee, your enemies, and all your gates, right? Verse 56, Haraka Baka, right? Meaning she that is delicate in thee, Waha Ainaga, right? And tender, Ashor La'a Nasata, which would not venture, right? Because you have that word Nasa, which means to venture, to trial, to tempt, or Masa, meaning Ma, meaning of, Sa, meaning of trial, or of right, venturing, right? So it says, uh, and she that is tender in thee, and delicate, which would not venture, the soles of her foot, Kap Regala, Ha Tazaga, meaning to place or to appoint. Al Ha'arataza, upon the earth, right? Maha Ta'ainag, of delicacy. Wamarka, right? And will be bitter. Bitter, and will be bitter unto thee. Tharai Ayana, and her eye will be evil upon her the husband, Ba'ayash, of her bosom, Ayakwa, Waba Bana, and upon her sons, Waba Banath, Slaki, Waba Batha, and upon her daughter, right? So it says, she that is tender in thee and delicate, which will not venture the soles of her feet to place it upon the earth, right, for delicacy, and will be bitter to have will be bitter unto thee to have an evil eye upon her husband of her bosom, and upon her sons, and upon her daughters, or upon her son and upon her daughter, right? Oba Shalayath, right? Haya Haya Watazath, or Haya Tazath, Mabayan Ragalaya, right? Meaning and in her putting off that which comes out from between her feet, Waban Banaya, and her son Ashar the lad which she will bring forth, right? Kaya ta kalma, right? Because she will eat by chasar, in need of all, call basatar, right? Meaning in secret, in the siege, ba matazawar, waba matazawak, and in straightness, right? Ashar yatazayak, which they will distress unto thee, laka ayabka, your enemies and your gates, bashayar yaka, right? So in essence, it says, and that which is put off, that which comes out of from between her feet, right? And her sons, which she will bring forth, right? Because she will eat them in want of all, right? In secret, in the siege, and in distress, which they will distress unto thee, your enemies, and your gates, right? Now let's look at that word bashaliyata, right? Deuteronomy 28:57. Let's get that real quick. Shalia, right? Which is really compound word. It's not the actual root. Shalia, afterbirth. It's not really what that means. Because that word shal or nashal, it just means to withdraw, to put off, right? See, nashal. Nashal, to draw out, to put off, right? Verse 58. I'm la'a tashamar, right? If you do not keep to do la ashawath, to all the words of the law this, Atha call Dabarya Ha Thawura Hazath, right? Ha Katabium, right? Which are written in the book, Basapar this, Hazah, La Yara'a, to fear, Atha Hasham, to the name, right? Hana Kabad, and to honor, right? Waha Nara'a, to fear, to this, Hazah, Atha Yahweh Alahayaka, to the Lord your power, right? So it reads, if you do not keep to do to all of the words of the law this, right, which are written in this book, to fear to the name glorious, or Salakia, to fear to the name honorable and fearful, right? This, to the Lord your power, right? Which is Yahweh, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 59. Waha Pala'a Yahweh Atha Makath Ka, meaning, and he will make wonderful the Lord to the plagues, to your plagues, right? But really it says to your smiting, right? Wa'atha Makawath, right? And to the smitings or to the plagues of your seed, Zariah, Makawath, Gadalath, the plagues great, Wana Amanawath, and continuous, right? Because that word amen actually means, right, faithful, right? Or to have, right? Or to something that is sure, right? So when you say amen, that's really a derivative of amawan, meaning faithful. Or in this context, it's a continuous, right? Which is Amanwath, right? Wakalayim, and sicknesses, painful, rayim, right? And continuous, Wana Amanyam, right? So it says, and the Lord will make extraordinary, right? To the plagues, to your plagues, right? As in he will multiply the plagues, and he will multiply the Lord to your plagues, to the plagues of your seed, to the plagues great and continuance, and sicknesses, painful and continuance, right? Let's see. Deuteronomy 28 and 59. Let's see if we can get something out of that. Deuteronomy 28, 59. See what we can get. Salakia. Makkah, right? So it doesn't mean plague, it's just a derivative of nakah, meaning to be smitten, right? But in this context, it would be plagues, as in smitten with plagues, right? Waha shaya baka atha kal mada, right? And he will return upon thee to all of the languishing, because that's what that word means, madawa or mada, of Egypt, Matazarium, Salakia, Ashar, Yagarath, which you fear, or Salakia, which they have feared from before them, Mapanayahum, right, and will cling upon thee, and will stick upon thee, right, Wadabakwa Baka, right, so we know that word gar, the root is gawar, meaning to sojourn, or to turn back, when, for example, when one sojourns, hypothetically speaking, right, or figuratively speaking, it would mean in a sense of fear because you turn back, right? let's see. Let's get that. Deuteronomy 28 and 60. Salakia. Let's see. Madawa. Strong's H4064. Madawa, which is the root is the wa. Sickness, disease. Let's look at the root. The wa. To languish, to be sick, right? The Arabic says the we, right? Because that little line under the wa is like a I. The one in the middle says the a, right? Because that little line above it, above the da. So like here, let me show you real quick. Would be right. Da. That little line means it's a da. Or this is a I, like, right? Shawai, right? It looks like it too. But with this line above it, it would be right? De, da right? But here at the bottom, it would be da. The little line makes it a we. This is the ha, da we. And then you have the third, it's the y, da we, dy, right? The y, right? Which is really just saying the same thing, right? It's just the vowels, or right? These are just vowels basically, but they're called diacritics in Arabic. It says especially used of women in menstruation, right? Which that goes into right, what's used in the law, right? Let's get that real quick. Which is it's lucky, I don't know where it's. Alright, here it is. This is Leviticus 12 and 2. It reads, the bar al banaya yashrala la omar, speak to the children of Israel and say, right? Asha, a woman, kaya, tazarayai, because she conceives, right? Wayalada, and brings forth a male, zakar, right? And will be unclean. Wa tama'a, 7 days. Shabaitha, yamayim, like the days ka yamayim of her separation, right? That's what nada means. Or nada also means impurity, right? Like the days of her impurity, right? Dawatha, of her languishing, right? Which he will be unclean. Ta tama'a, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 60. Waha shaya baka ata kal madawa, right? So the wa is actually required there, right? And he will bring back unto thee to all the languishing of Egypt unto Zarium, right? Which they feared, meaning the children of Israel, when they sojourned in that land, right? From before them, ma panayaham, right? And it will cling unto you, right? As in the pestilence, that the Lord will increase and will be continuous, right? And that's still happening with Jake today, eating that swine, you get what's called gout, which I believe Apostle Ramlab, Ryamlab, I keep forgetting his name. Um, he brought out that, for example, that album that Nas came out with is called King's Disease, which is a series that he's been releasing. Um, which is that King's Disease is just talking about, right, one, right, that goes back to languishing or gout, right, which is what the kings in ancient times went through because of their excess, and they didn't have the proper diet, right, which is what these heathens still do today, right, and these various monarchs, and what do you call them, Salakia, monarchs and such, um, dictatorships, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 61. Gum called Halaya, even all the sicknesses, Wakal Makah, and all the diseases, Ashar La'ah Kathab, which are not written in the book, Basapar of the law, Hatawara Hazath, this, right? Ya Ilam, Yahweh, Alayaka, right? Meaning, Yah means they, Ilam meaning to be hidden, right? Meaning the diseases that are not written in this book, right? Even those that are hidden, right, in that time in which it was written, right? Because you have, right, through Esau, right, constantly splicing up, DNAs and what they call editing, gene editing and whatnot, that just creates experimentation at all, creating all these zombie diseases and, right? Those are those that are not mentioned in the book of this, right? Yahweh Elayakah, which the Lord will put upon thee, even till you be destroyed. Ad Hashamadka, right? So in essence it says, starting at verse 660, and he will return upon thee to all the languishing of Egypt, which they feared from before them, right? Or Salakia, which you feared before them, or Salakia, they feared before them, and will cling unto thee, even all the sicknesses and all the diseases which are not written in the book of this, the law, they that are hidden, meaning they're not written, the Lord will place upon thee, even till you be destroyed, right? Wana sha'aratham bamathaya ma'ita mayat, right? And you will remain in time few, tahath ashar chaye yatham, instead which, right, you were kawakabia, like the stars, hashemayim, of the heavens, for a multitude, la rabah kaya la'ah shemaitha, because you did not hear in the voice of the Lord your power, Baqual Yahweh Lahayaka, right? So it says, and you will remain in time few, instead which you were like the stars of the heavens, for a multitude, because you did not hear in the voice of the Lord your power. Wahaya Ka'ashar Shash Yahweh Eliakam, and it will come to pass like which he delighted, right? The Lord upon you to do thee good. Laha Yatayab Atakam, and to multiply unto you. Wala Harabawath Atakam, Kan Yashayash. So he will delight, the Lord Yahweh Eliakam, upon you to destroy you. Laha Abayad Atakam, right? Wala Hashamayad, and to make you desolate. Atakam. Wanasachtam, right? Meaning to be, and you will be torn. Ma'al ha'adamah, from upon the land. Ashar atha ba'a shema la rashata, right? Which you are going in hither to possess. So let's look at that word, sachath, salakia, nasach, salakia. Deuteronomy 28 and 63. Salakia, let's see if I can get that. Nasach, right? To pluck out, right? Which is the opposite of natai, to plant. That word nasach means to pluck out or to pluck up, right? So it says, and it will come to pass like which he delighted the Lord upon you, to do you good and to multiply you. So he will delight upon you to destroy you and make you desolate, right? And you will be plucked up from upon the land to which you are going in hither to possess, right? Waha Payatazaka Yahweh Bakal Ha'mayim, and he will scatter thee, the Lord, and all the peoples, upon all peoples, right? Because that word Payatazah or Pawatazah means to scatter, right? Ma Kwatazah, from one end of the earth, Ha'aratazah, Wa'ad Kwatazah, and even till the other end of the earth, Ha'aratazah, Wa Ibadath, and you will serve Shema hither, or Salakia Sham. You will serve hither gods others, Alahayim, Aharyim, Ashar, which you did not know, which is La'a Yadaitha, Atha, you and your fathers, Wa Abathayaka, wood and stone, Haitaza Wa Aban, right? Verse 65. Wa ba Gawayim Haham, and upon the nations, right? They, right? Will not La'a Tha Regayai, they will not be that word ragai means to be still, right? I believe. Let's look that up real quick. Deuteronomy 28:65. Salaki, bear with me. To be, it means to be at ease, right? Ragai, to terrify, to restrain by threatening. It's not what it's talking about. The Arabic says ragai, to return. It's not what it's talking about. Ragai, disturb. Not necessarily. Just means to be at ease, right? So ragai, Job 7:5. My flesh is clothed with worms and clods of dust. My skin, right, is broken and become loathsome, right? So let's see. Let's see. So I guess that means to be something that is shrunk, right? As in, right? And it also means to be at ease, right? Because it says, Job 26:12, right? He shrinketh up the sea with his power, and by his understanding he smiteth through the proud. The lips, Proverbs 12:9, the lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. Meaning it's but shrunken, as in made short, right? Cut short, right? So it just means to be at ease or to something that is shrunken. Because, for example, when you go to lay down, sometimes, I'll give you an example. They have what's called the fetal position, which is someone that lays down like this. If you're laying down sideways, you kind of shrink into yourself, right? Some people actually sleep like that, right? So you could say that means to be at ease, right? To find repose, as in to be, but it literally means to be shrunken. You could be shrunken in fear. You could be shrunken in the sense of, you're kicking back, and you're kind of just, you may be laying down or sitting down, right? You may be leaning forward, kind of, in a shrunk position, maybe writing or reading, right? Denoting repose, right? So essentially it reads, and in the nations, them, you will not be at ease or repose. You will not find repose, right? Wala'a Yahaya, and will not be, rested, manawach, because that word, the root is of manawach is nawach, meaning to rest. Right? Lakap, regalka, for the soles of your feet. Wanathan Yahweh, laka, shum, and will give the Lord unto thee there or hither. Lab, a heart. Regaz, meaning um, uh, trembling, right? Let's get that real quick. Deuteronomy 28:65. Regaz, Strong's 72:68. Trembling, timid, trembling, right? So, exactly like I said, right? Wa kalayawan, ayanya ma, and consummation of your eyes, right? Wa da'abwan, right? And it says a despondent spirit, napash, right? Let's look up that word. Which is I believe that means grief of spirit. Pining, wasting, not necessarily, because let's look at the root. Da'ab, to melt away, to melt, to pine, to languish, right? That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about grief, right? So it says verbatim, and in the nations, right? That they will not have rest, and or Salakia, they will not be at ease, right? And will not be in rest, right? And there will not be rest to the soles of your feet, right? And will appoint the Lord unto thee, right? There a heart trembling, in the consummation of the eyes, right? And a weary spirit, right? But really, like I said, it just means, right, faint. But you can say sorrow, right? Faint, languishing, right? Sorrow, spirit, right? So let's read that again. And in the nations, right? They will not have repose. There will not be a rest, the soles of your feet. And will appoint the Lord unto thee there, a heart trembling, and a consummation of the eyes, right? And a weariness of spirit, right? Or sorrow of spirit. I would just go with weariness, but if you want to get specific, it just means sorrow, right? Wahayawa, Hayayaka, right? And will be your life. Thalayim, meaning and will be your life suspended, as in to be hung up, but also means, um, you will be unsure of your future, right? As in postponed, right? Or you will not, know what is coming, right? Laka, which is in the law where it says, that's that same word, where it says, Salakia, throat's real dry, where it's talking about those that are, when curses the man that hangeth on the tree, right? You're not supposed to leave him there all night. You're supposed to take him down before the sun sets, right? And let's just look at that word again. I brought it out in the previous video, but this might help as well. Salakia. Let me just scroll on down. Alright, here it is. Salakia. The word is thala. To suspend, right? Which is the same word as thala, which is in right, more than in two scriptures, right? Let's see, hang. Salakia. See where we're at. Thala, meaning to hang or suspend, right? It just means to suspend, right? In the air, or your life being, right, uncertain, right? In a non-literal sense, right? Laka, managad, right? So it says unto thee, right? Right, which is that word nagad means to be present, right? So in the present time, you're not gonna have an assurance of life, right? Let's see. Let's get that real quick. Deuteronomy 28 and 66. Salakia, just bear with me. Deuteronomy 28, 66. Bear with me. My God, right? Meaning, and will be your life suspended unto thee, right? From before, right? Or from the present, right? Meaning from the present time, right? Wapachad, right? That word, Salakia, where is it? Where was I? Wapachad tha, right? And you will, right? You will fear, because that word pachad is in the sense of trepidation, or when you have it like an ominous feeling, that's what it's talking about, right? But it just means to fear, right? And that, because that's what Salakia, what is it? Uh, what is it? Let's get that real quick. I don't remember the scripture. Let's get that. Bible Hub. Let's see if we can get that. Let's go to Genesis chapter 31. Right. Genesis 31. I believe that's the latter verses. Let's see. Because Jacob said, because Laban wanted him to make an oath with him when he made the covenant, right, of peace with him. He instead of swearing upon the Lord, because Laban and them, they were idolaters. He swore upon the fear of his fathers, right? So he kind of supplanted Laban, right? And didn't want to feel like he was going off, because if he swore with a heathen, right? And I mean heathen in the sense that he was an idolater, right? Because Rachel, she tried to take the idol with her, right? Because those were the idols of their land. Let's see. Genesis 31 and 42. Except the God of Abraham, except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me. Surely thou hast sent me away empty. God has seen mine affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight. Which is that word pachad, right? So Salakia, he didn't actually make an oath, but let's see. Oh, here it is. Genesis 31:53. The God of Abraham, the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between us, and Jacob swear by the fear of his father Isaac, right? So that's what Laban said, right? He said, the God of Abraham, the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between us, right? But Jacob, he didn't choose to bring the Most High between that type of covenant, because it was merely, right, an agreement for them not to cross between their lands, right? It wasn't a covenant necessarily of peace, right? Which Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. He didn't dare fear upon the Most High, right, and his name, because Nahor said, or Laban, Salakia, right? He said, the God of Abraham, the God of Nahor. He tried to, sneak a little blessing in there, right? But he was a heathen, right? So, Jacob he didn't swear upon the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He just swore by the fear of his father Isaac, right? So it says, Wa pachadta la yala, meaning and you will fear night and day. Wa ya um yawama, wa la'a ta amayan, right? And there will not be um assurance of upon your life. Ba chaya yaka, right? So let's get that right? That word amayan, which is really where you get the word aman, amen, or ama amawan, right? Which means faith. But in this chapter, it's used as something that is continuance, like the plagues, right? For example, when you have a faithful servant, right? They are faithful, meaning they're continuing to the service, right? But when you have something that is faithfully painful, it's continuously painful, right? That's the logic behind that, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 66, right? Let's get that. Salakia. I didn't mean to click on that. We're almost done, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 66. Because we're almost at the 2-hour mark, which is why I didn't do a whole video. Wasn't going to have a whole 4 hours lesson, right? So that word aman or amen, that is the root, meaning assurance, belief, continuance, faith, right? Or faithfulness, right? To stay, to sustain, to support, not necessarily, that's not what it's talking about, right? To support, confirm, be faithful, right? More so, it means faith or faithfulness, right? But in this context, when it says wala'a ta amayan ba chaya yaka, it's actually saying, and you will not have um, assurance of your life, right? Deuteronomy 28, 67, Babukwar ta amar maya yatan. In the morning you will say, right? Who will appoint the evening, Irab, Waba Irab, and in the evening you will say, the Amar, Maya, meaning who, Yathan, meaning to appoint or give. Who will appoint the morning, Bakwar, right? Ma Pachad, right? Fearfulness to your heart, Lababka, right? Of the fearfulness of your heart, right? Which you will fear, Ashar, Tapachad, right? Wama Mara'a, right? And the sights that you will see, Ayan Yaka, Ashar Tara'a, right? Which you will fear. Or Slakia, which you will see, right? So it says, in the morning you will say, oh, if it were evening, and in evening you will say, oh, if it were morning, because of the fearfulness of your heart, which you will fear, and of the sights which your eyes, which you will see. Last verse, Ha Shayabka, Waha Shayab Ka, and he will return you will return, right? Or Salakia, and he will return unto thee. Wa meaning and, ha meaning he, Shayab means to return. The Ka means unto thee, right? Yahweh Matazarium, the Lord unto Egypt. Ba Anayawath, right? In ships. Because that word Anayaha, it means ship. Anayath or Anayawath is plural, right? Badarak Ashar Amarathia, in the way which I have said unto thee, Laka, you will not again, La'a Tasayap, anymore, Iwad, see, La Ra'atha, Waha Thamakaratham, right? And you will be sold, because that word makar means to sell, hither or there, shum, to your enemies, la ayab yaka, right? Salakia. For bond men, la abadyam, and bond women, wala shapachwath, wa ayan kwana, and no one will redeem you or purchase you, but it really means right, and no one will purchase you, but it's in the sense of no one is gonna redeem you from that type of captivity, right, or subjugation, which is still, we're subjugated under Esau's laws and government, right? And if you look at the etymology for government, it just means oppression, right? So let's look at that word for bond women, Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Salakia. Deuteronomy 28, 68. Salakia, bear with me. That word is shapacha, meaning bondwoman or maid servant, right? Which is also known as amah or amath, plural, right? Shapacha, right? Which is a derivative of sapach, which means something that that sticks unto another thing, right? Which is what the handmaids would do, right? They would follow their lord or their mistress and attend unto them, right? Verse 69, Al-Ha Tabaria Ha Barayath. These are the words of the covenant, Ashar Tazawa Yahweh, which commanded the Lord to Moses, Atam Shah, Lakarath, to make or to cut, Athabanaya, to make with the children of Israel, Yasha'ala, Ba'ratazah Mawa'ab, in the land of Moab, right? Malabad, meaning beside, Habarayath, the covenant, Ashar Karath, which he made with them, Atham, and Horeb, Ba'harab, which is Mount Horeb, right? So there you have it, is Deuteronomy 28, 33 to 69, onto verse 69, right, going into the Hebrew, Lord willing, you're ratified. It's Brother Yatazadak Hero Israel. And as always, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakodash, double honors to the elders and apostles, Great Millstone, Kwame Asha Allah, Abad Ball, Shalom.